Greetings, good people. I'm back and it is Hot Topics time. Okay, if you're new here, welcome. If you are not new here, welcome back, Royal Family member. All right, so I like to get straight into it. Now, we do have Lil Nas X and Cardi B on the lineup, they're the main events. But before we get to the main events, I wanted to provide an update or some updated information, I should say, regarding this situation. Now, you remember when this couple from California, husband and wife, they basically took to the public asking for help to locate their 7-month-old missing baby boy, Emmanuel, right? The mother said that she was in a shopping plaza. She was in uh, a parking lot of a shopping plaza, and someone approached her and basically took her baby. Okay. Well, the authorities, they weren't buying that story. Their story seemed inconsistent, and they believe that the 7-month-old missing baby is no longer with us. Okay. And they were actually arrested. So they were arrested, and they were arrested 1 week after his disappearance. And this is footage of their arrest. And they're being charged with taking the baby's life because they don't believe that the baby is still alive. And while they were doing their investigation, questioning both parents, and things just didn't seem right. Okay. So that is the footage you can see there. Okay. And this was the original video with the mother pleading for help.
I couldn't find my son.
A 7-month-old baby boy was reportedly kidnapped right out of this Big Five parking lot. This is 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro, one of 5 children in this family from Cabazon, reportedly kidnapped last night in Yucaipa. Now, his mom told me that they were here last night at a nearby football stadium.
Okay, like I said, she said she was in the parking lot and somebody approached her and kidnapped her baby. Okay. Well, authorities feel that that's a lie. All right. So they've been arrested and they're being charged, like I said, with taking the baby's life. Okay. And most recently, you can see the father. He is in the fields somewhere in Riverside County, California, helping the authorities conduct a search for the baby. Okay. This is sick. This is absolutely positively sick. They did not find the baby. So I guess he calls himself cooperating with the authorities. Now, the father, he has a record. He was charged with assault, and he assaulted his daughter so much so that she ended up with brain damage. He served time in jail. He came out on probation, violated probation because he had a firearm. So, and they did have a 2-year-old girl in the home as well at the time of all of this happening, and she has since been removed. Now, who the 2-year-old girl is with is unknown. I haven't seen any reports. I don't know if she's with a grandparent or if she is in the state's custody. That is unknown, and they're probably not going to release that information for privacy reasons. So I really hope that I'm hoping that they find the baby alive, but the authorities don't believe that the child is alive. So if they're going to come clean exactly about what happened, how this is going to play out, I don't know. I do think that they should get exactly what they deserve. This is sick. This woman came to the public begging for help, making us think that she was attacked and her child was kidnapped, which is foul. I think the father probably put the mother up to this because she looked like she was scared and in distress. But then again, you never know. People are so unpredictable, and people are so wicked. You just never know. So if the baby is still alive, I hope they find the baby. And if the baby is no longer alive, they both deserve life in prison. Okay. Ooh, that's such a heavy story. Okay, moving along. Something a lot lighter. Dr. Umar, okay? I don't know if you guys have heard, but Dr. Umar wants you to pay him $500 to date the doctor, okay? Last week, he talked about taking his black queens to lunch. All you got to do is pay $500, okay? You can pick the restaurant, all right? And he will pay for the lunch. But again, you have to pay $500. He has since cleaned this up. Now this is turning into like a reality show of sorts, Date with the Doctor. So let's take a look and listen to what Dr. Umar has to say. Like to hear it? Here you go.
Date with the Doctor reality show.
Oh, Lord.
I want all my African queens to listen up. The Date with the Doctor reality show is really a conversation platform. It is a conversation platform where black women and I will exchange views and opinions on various issues affecting the world, the African race, and black women in particular. It will be a platform where black women can expose their brand,
Lord,
their business, and influence the culture of black women and influence the culture for black women. This is going to be an uplifting reality show. There will be no nonsense. It's going to be clean and it's going to be classy. I'm calling it a date. I just wanted to women, you cannot be a candidate on my show unless you are an entrepreneur of some kind. I don't care if you sell cookies. I don't care if you sell candles. I don't care if you sell
all right, we get the gist of it. Dr. Umar knows that he is a trip and he knows that people find him comical. Date with the doctor, huh? Whatever. I wish you nothing but the best, because at this point, desperate times call for desperate measures. This man has to raise money to pay whatever back fees on his building, or else he basically can lose the building, can be auctioned off. So desperate times call for desperate measures. I kind of like this approach better than the initial approach, because this is not how he initially, advertised it. This seems like he's in a much more controlled environment. He's not outside talking crazy. So ladies, are you gonna go on a date with the doctor? $500, huh? And this is supposed to be some sort of a reality show. Where? On Instagram? How is this going to work? Are you going to be filming the dates? Dr. Umar, I'm going to tell you something right now. You're too distracted, and you've been distracted for the last couple of years, and your loins have gotten in the way of your plans and your goals, and you have definitely lost focus. And if you want to go ahead and put yourself on Temptation Island, these beautiful women are definitely going to give you money. Some women are going to give him money to go on a date with him, for sure. A lot of women find him attractive, right? And you're going to get distracted yet again, and then you're going to have somebody else doing interviews all over YouTube talking about how terrible of a person you are. You're too distracted. My brother, you need to stay focused, and your focus is terribly off right now. But I wish you nothing but the best. Good luck, sir. All right, moving along. Cardi B is on trial, y'all. Did y'all know that? So her assault trial has begun. It actually started today. So she faces accusations of assault and battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, and false imprisonment in a lawsuit stemming from a 2018 incident. You can watch this on Court TV and I think Law and Crime on YouTube. So you can watch the trial. So what exactly is happening? So Grok says, according to Grok on Twitter or X, Cardi B is on trial in a civil lawsuit filed by security guard Emmanuel, alleging assault in 2018 at a Beverly Hills doctor's office. Ellis claims Cardi attacked her after being denied entry for filming. So the trial started today, August 25th, 2025, with jury selection in California. So Cardi denies the claims and she plans on testifying. So you know that she's going to be trending, okay? Cardi got the short Toni Braxton cut, all right? And she looks very serious. Girl, I know your lawyers love you because you definitely keep them employed, okay? When was the last time Cardi B was in court? It was a couple of years ago. Mercy, mercy. So we shall see what will become of this. Cardi, I wish you nothing but the best, girl. Good luck. Are you the drama? Yes, apparently so. So I can't wait to see when they broadcast the portion of the trial where she testifies. I'm definitely going to be tuned in. I'm sure many of you will be, and it will be circulating all over social media. All right, now on to the other main event, Lil Nas X. All right, you guys know he got locked up over the weekend. He had to spend the weekend in jail. He had to wait to see a judge. Well, he saw a judge. He's pleading not guilty following his arrest, okay? So this is so sad. Just listen to this little piece of, if you can hear all of this. I'd like to hear it go.
Record that drugs were even a part of this. And And so this is just an aberrant episode and in an otherwise productive life. To call his life productive, I think, would be an understatement. I think it's a remarkable life.
So, Mr. Hill, do you understand and accept those conditions?
Yes. He's very remorseful for what happened, but it can happen in any family, He's going to get the help that he needs, and just keep him in your prayers, Give him the same grace and mercy that God give everyone.
Sir, what kind of help?
For the fans that love him and adore him, is his dad said, pray for him, think about him, root for him, cheer him on, and don't forget all the success that he had, and just don't judge somebody by the worst moment in their life.
Right now, there's nothing in the record that drugs were even a part of this.
Okay, so this lady is saying that there's nothing in the record that says that drugs were a part of this. So there were no drugs in his system. Okay, TMZ reported that he went to the hospital, then he went to jail, and he's being charged with 4 felonies for charging at 4 officers, and he pleaded not guilty. So he's not being charged with like public indecency or being under the influence in public, or so if there were no drugs, then what was it? What happened here? See, this is why you can't follow a lot of what these media outlets are saying, and this is another reason why a lot of people believe that this is some sort of a publicity stunt. And I did see in a lot of comments on Twitter and on Instagram, people asking the question, who would go as far as to get arrested for publicity? Baby, let me tell you something. Life's a stage, okay? This entertainment industry will shock you if you had firsthand experience and a first look, a peek into what really goes on that we don't get to see, okay? So there Lil Nas X is. Let's see what's here. This is his lawyer speaking out. Let's hear what he has to say.
$5,000, he'll make that bond. He'll be out today. We're going to kind of keep this short and quick. We're doing our due diligence to address everything we can about this young man. I mean, obviously, Mr. Hill has had an amazing career. 26 years old, never been in trouble a split second in his life, as Christy so eloquently stated in court. And so we're just going to address everything. Again, you very rarely have in these court buildings see somebody 26 that has never stepped into a courthouse before, never been in trouble, not for a split second in his existence. And as Christy said, his accolades are just unimaginable, how one person could have achieved so much success in 26 years. And so we're not going to let one little event change the trajectory of this amazing life. And so we're going to jump. Bond has been set at $75,000.
All right, so he got out of jail. So this was his father speaking in front of the jail, I guess. And this is Lil Nas X exiting after posting bail. So they said that he's never been in jail before. Someone says this got to be fake or publicity stunt. When do they ever let you leave with the jail uniform on? True, but he did go into jail naked, right? Because we saw video of him prancing around in his underwear and his Tic Tac white boots, right? But he was also naked, and there was footage or images, I should say, circulating with his private area blurred out. So how come he wasn't? Maybe by the time the cops got there, he had his underwear back on. But yeah, it's being alleged that the officers sustained injuries. So that's the 4 felonies that he's being charged with for assaulting the 4 officers. But I thought he went to the hospital. That's what TMZ reported. And he was treated for a quote unquote possible overdose. But then someone from his legal team basically said that there's no proof that there were any drugs involved. So if there were no drugs involved, then what was this? A so-called mental breakdown? Like I said, I believe it's a publicity stunt. Be on the lookout for his project coming out. Unfortunately, being a part of some of these organizations, these people have to do some weird things. So I did see last week that his mother was interviewed. I couldn't even watch the whole thing. His mother, for those of you who don't know, is on drugs, and she I guess lives on the street. They found her, walking around in a particular neighborhood, and she saw the video of her son, and she just seems like she's having a lot of struggles. And he talks to his mother, and apparently she doesn't want any help. That's got to be hard, especially for Lil Nas X, to know that his mother is, roaming around doing what she wants to do, doesn't want any help. And I'm pretty sure people make fun of him for that. His father, that I heard wasn't in his life, seems pretty active to me. Maybe he is active now and wasn't there when he was little. But like I said, this is all unfortunate, and he could have had a psychotic break. However, I'm just not buying it. And, it doesn't mean that it can't happen. I don't feel like I'm being insensitive when I say that, because it's the entertainment industry and because he is someone who has trolled his audience before. The lady said that there were no drugs involved. So what was going on? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, guess what you can do? Drop down in the comments and share your thoughts. Do you care about this Lil Nas X incident? It's quite sad. If, let's say that for the sake of the argument, this is a publicity stunt. Isn't it sad that you have to do things like this in order to maintain your success, I guess? That in and of itself deserves prayer. And that's really unfortunate, and it's really sad. But it's a dirty game. So, and you got to pick and choose what games you want to play. So, I mean, I'm not judging him. I'm just saying that I just don't believe it is what it's being reported as. Right? What do you think about Cardi B in court again? Will you be watching her trial? Like I said, you can catch it on Court TV. And I don't know about Law and Crime. I didn't check Law and Crime, but I did see that it was on Court TV right here on YouTube. Okay. Are you going to pay Dr. Umar $500 to go on a date with the doctor? He said entrepreneurs only, black women only. Okay. No other race besides black women. This is what he said. He got some strict rules. Anyway, y'all, I'm signing off. All right. But I will be back soon. I love you for watching. And as always, until next time, I will talk to you later.